Hey guys, Beck here. Welcome back to Teacher Love Club. So today's deep dive, we're going to talk about how to hold space when you are teaching workshops and masterclasses. So this one is going to be a great one if you are about to teach maybe your first masterclass, your first workshop, you're going into some sort of teacher training. I'm just going to give you some really great tips on how to hold space for your participants. So I've got 8 tips for you. My first tip is to be prepared. So that means be prepared with your class plan, be prepared with any handouts that you may have, whether it's like a PDF handout that you're going to email them before, or whether it's an actual printable handout. If you're doing a workshop style thing especially, I highly encourage you to have handouts that people can walk away from the workshop with those handouts. Super handy. I taught on a workshop not that long ago, and I wasn't even going to have a handout, and then sort of like a week before I decided that I wanted to give them some content to take away, and I'm so glad I did, because I actually taught a class and then at the end I kind of ran out of time to go through everything. It was about sequencing, intelligent sequencing. Ran out of time a little bit, so it was lucky I had the handout so they could look back on it whenever they needed to. So that's my first tip, is be prepared. My second tip is when you walk in the room, and this one's actually from Emma Seabold. When you walk in the room, you need to take off your normal person, everyday cape, and you need to put on your teacher cape. So that means that your energy is going to change dramatically. And if you've walked in the room with something else going on, you release that, you put on the teacher cape, you walk in. Got chills just thinking about it. Yeah. So changing your energy and leaving your stuff at the door is very important. So popping on that cape is my hot tip number 2. Number 3 is starting your workshop or masterclass by getting everyone, including yourself, to take 3 deep breaths. So hopefully you're in a position where you can close eyes, take a big breath in, breath out, repeating that 3 times and ensuring that their exhalation breath is actually longer than their inhale. If you have a long exhale, it's going to relax and draw them into their parasympathetic nervous system, which is their rest and digest, and out of fight and flight sympathetic nervous system. So 3 deep breaths when you start the workshop or masterclass to anchor yourself, to center yourself, and to center your participants. My 4th tip is this is another one from Emma, is to make sure that your blood sugar is stable. Okay, so make sure that you have eaten something good for you, nutritious, protein, carbs, whatever you need, but just ensuring that your blood sugar is stable. If you walk in and your blood sugar is not stable, it's very hard to hold space. It's very hard to be grounded. Okay, so hot tip number 4 is making sure that your blood sugar is stable. Hot tip number 5 is making eye contact. So this is a tricky one when you first start teaching a class, masterclasses, workshops, teacher trainings, to actually be grounded and stable and centered enough to make eye contact with people in the room. But I can assure you that if you are prepared, if you leave your stuff at the door, put on your teacher cape, you take those breaths, it's very easy to make eye contact when you're feeling all of those things and you're feeling grounded. So really ensuring that you're making eye contact and not just looking at a screen or looking at a whiteboard or whatever it is. And that means eye contact with everyone, not just like people you feel comfortable with, but actually sharing out that love of your eye contact. So my next tip, my tip number 6, is to, if possible, pop your phone on airplane mode. So sometimes it's not possible if you are playing music, if you have some sort of thing that is projecting onto the wall and you need internet connection, that's fine. If you can go airplane mode, go for it. Download your songs on Spotify and connect to the speaker if that's something that you can do. The thing about this one is there's a couple of things. having your phone not on airplane mode or not on do not disturb, it's very easy to get distracted and sidetracked. And the other thing is, you don't want people thinking you're looking at your phone and not connecting with them and not staying present. So it's very important that you don't have that distraction, so it looks like you're fully with people. You know what it feels like when you've been in a class and the teacher's looking at their phone the whole time. It looks like they're checking messages, checking email, checking Instagram. All they're probably doing is turning up the volume or signing people in. That's all I'm ever doing if I have my phone. But it can be distracting for you, and it can be distracting for the participants. So just ensuring that you keep that screen time to a minimum so you can stay fully present. My next tip number 7, is to touch people. So obviously you want to ask for permission if you are sort of tactile cueing, assisting and adjusting, but I'm talking about touch in terms of connection with people. So that might just be a brush on the shoulder, it might be a hand on the back, it might be a hug if people feel comfortable with that. So it's the act of touching to drive connection, not just to fix people's postures or not just to correct. Yeah, so that is my tip number 7. Tip number 8, this is the last one I'll give you, is to say people's names. So I've talked about this in previous deep dives and teaching skills, but saying people's names in a workshop, a masterclass, and obviously in a normal class is so important. If you know their name, say it. Make sure you're not saying the same person's name over and over again. You want to say as many different names as you can and try to sort of share out the connection with each person. If you have a list of names of the people that are coming to your workshop or masterclass, have a look at it before so you can try and memorize it. If people want to talk to you before the workshop or masterclass starts, hi, how are you? What was your name? Say their name 3 times so that you can remember it. Always try and ask names before you start so you can say their name when you're actually in the environment. So I hope those tips help. If you want more tips, we will do another one of these videos. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, pop them below and we'll get back to you. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time.